notice, and this is the typical copyright. We continue with mathematics syllabus at the CSEC level. This syllabus became effective in May-June 2018. Normally it will run for 10 years. However, as of December 2025, this syllabus has not yet been revised, but there are plans to change the structure of the exam from 2028 and onwards. And currently, there are a few pilot projects being conducted in a few Caribbean countries. The main changes are: 1, to split the exam into 2 parts, maybe a level 1 and a level 2. And 2, there will no longer be any alternative sections or questions from alternative sections. All sections will be tested. As you are already aware, sections 1, 2, and 3, made up of 51 videos. All of them have already been published on YouTube in their entirety. Please make good use of them. From section 4, measurement, 5 of those 17 videos have been published on YouTube in their entirety, the others only partially. Section 5, statistics, 18 videos. 5 of these have been published on YouTube in their entirety, the others only partially. From section 6, algebra, 22 videos, from which 7 have been published in their entirety on YouTube. It took a lot of time to set up the online school, so the need arises for me to reschedule the last 3 parts. So section 7, relations, functions, and graphs, which is what we are doing now. This is the 5th of 26 videos, and hopefully I should finish this by the end of this month, February 2026, after which we move on to section 8, geometry and trigonometry. Should complete that by March 2026, and then finally the last section, vectors and matrices, by April-May 2026. Just a reminder that from section 1, all 33 videos have been published on YouTube in their entirety, especially since this section forms the foundation on which the rest of the syllabus is based. All these 33 videos from section 1 will cover the math work that you need to get done up to Form 3 or Grade 9. That is, Form 1 to Form 3. And some of it can also be used in the upper sections of the primary school, Grade 5 and Grade 6. Another reminder that you need to know the times tables from 2 to 12, especially since calculators are not allowed in paper 1. Section 2, consumer arithmetic. All 12 of these videos have been published on YouTube in their entirety. Section 3, sets. All 6 of these videos have been published on YouTube in their entirety. Section 4, measurement. These that you see indicated here in yellow have been published on YouTube in their entirety. The others are only partially published. Please see directions in the description below for full access to these videos that are only partially published on YouTube. From section 5, statistics, 18 videos. These are published on YouTube in their entirety, these indicated in yellow here. The others are only partially published on YouTube. Again, see directions in the description below if you want to have full access to these videos. Section 6, algebra, These videos that you see here indicated in yellow, all 7 of them are published on YouTube in their entirety, especially since algebra seems to be a problem area with learners. The others are published partially. Again, please see directions in the description below for full access to these videos that are only partially published on YouTube. We are now at section 7, relations, functions, and graphs. And this has 26 videos from 26 objectives. Before we go on, recall I said in the introductory video that you will need a good math textbook or maybe a set of 2, especially to get more practice questions. CSEC recommends these that you see on the right here. From those, please pay close attention to these 2, especially since they form a very good 2-volume set of math textbooks that is quite adequate for the current CSEC math exam and even the modification of the exam in the future. This is a picture of volume 1, Mathematics, a Complete Course with CSEC with CXC questions by Raymond Tulsi. And this is a picture of volume 2. Please note this disclaimer down here. I get no financial or other benefits from the sale of these books. Also, as of late 2024, a website with AI interactivity has been made available free of cost that deals with past CSEC math questions only. You can navigate either by topics or years, where all questions for the past several years have been worked out for you. If you still have a question that you need explained, you can ask the AI assistant either by text or voice, and most likely that will be explained for you. It is extremely important that you become familiar with how CSEC sets its questions for paper 2 and what will be considered good or correct answers to such questions. This is the URL of that website. I will show you what the home page looks like on the next slide. This is the home page. You will have to register first and then sign in. But remember, it is totally free. Again, that is the URL. I will include this URL in the description of this video below, so you can easily click on it and be redirected to this website. This is just a reminder that this formula sheet that you see on the left here is provided for the CSEC math examination papers. This formula sheet here. And that sheet is included in the syllabus. However, you can also find it at the link in the description below from where it can be downloaded. And this is the top part of that same formula sheet, so you could see it a little better. Please note, you do not need to memorize these formulae on this sheet, as this sheet will be provided during the examination. But as you use them, you will learn some of them. And this is the below part of that same formula sheet. While you do not need to memorize these formulae, you do need to know when and how to use them. Section 7, Relations, Functions, and Graphs. This is a print screen from your syllabus. We are now here, Objective 5. We'll get back to that after we take an overview of the rest of this section. Up to Objective 9. Print screen again from your syllabus. Up to Objective 13. Up to Objective 17. And then on to Objective 20. Right here will take us to 22. And eventually we arrive at Objective 26, which is the end of this section. So we have 26 objectives in Section 7, Relations, Functions, and Graphs. Relations, Functions, and Graphs. So far, we have completed those 4 videos there up to Objective 4. 2 of those have been published in their entirety on YouTube, and the other 2 are only partially published. When I finish this one that we are doing right now here, video 5, this will only be partially published on YouTube. We are here, objective 5. And it says, distinguish between relation and function. Specifically, you are to use 3 methods: ordered pairs, arrow diagrams, and graphically. That is the additional notes that CSEC provides down here in the syllabus. Now, so far in this section, we have already considered this concept and the defining characteristics of a function. Therefore, this video will be mainly review. Not everything, but mainly. So what is a relation? In mathematics, a relation is any connection between elements of 2 or more sets, formally defined as a set of ordered pairs. These pairs link the elements from the first set, which is called the domain, to elements in the second set, which is called the codomain. The specific elements are called the range. Any element from the domain is called the input, and the corresponding element from the codomain in the ordered pair is called the output, specifically the range. So do not confuse codomain and range, as only elements that are outputs make up the range from the codomain. Now, the 4 most common types of relations that we have seen already as arrow diagrams are shown below. This is the first one, which is 1 to 1. That's the second one, which is 1 to many. This is the third one, which is many to 1. And this is the fourth one, which is many to many. Now, all of those are relations. Which of those relations are functions? Now, in which of these relations does an element of the domain map onto only one element of the codomain? In which of them? Let's consider them carefully. This first one here, yes, 1 to 1. This second one here, no. You have 1 to many. This third one here, yes, you have many to 1, but still, if you consider that 1 by itself and that 2 by itself and that 3 by itself, each one is linked only to one element in the codomain. And then this one here, no, this one here. So 1 to 1 and many to 1 are special relations called functions. So this one here is a function. This one here is a function. The other 2 are relations, but they are not functions. Now recall in the last video where we had to use functional notation, we came across this definition from your syllabus, which says that a function is a correspondence in which each element of one set is mapped onto a member of another set. That's from your syllabus. Let's look at a better working definition. A function is defined as a relation in which each element of the domain is mapped onto one and only one element of the range. And of course, the range is from the codomain. So we'll work with this one as opposed to the one that your syllabus gives. In the simplest term, a relation, we're going back to relation, is defined as a set of ordered pairs that obeys a particular rule. That would be a relation. So how is a relation different from a function? A function is defined as a relation in which each element of the domain is mapped onto one and only one element of the range. So a function is really a subset of relation. So all functions would be relations, but all relations are not functions. Let's consider this ellipse here. If we have all relations in that ellipse, then all functions will be within that ellipse. So all functions are relations, but all relations are not functions. If you find this video useful and interesting, please like and share. You may also consider subscribing to this channel. So we said that a function is defined as a relation in which each element of the domain is mapped onto one and only one element of the range. So you have one-to-one and many-to-one are functions, if they are also relations. So this one here, as we said, and this one here are functions. Obviously, the other two, the one-to-many and many-to-many, are not functions, even though they are relations. A function is defined as a relation in which each element of the domain is mapped onto one and only one element of the range. Now, which of the following would be considered function? We have seen this before. If you have a domain on the left here and a codomain on the right with the range, and you have this relationship, let's call this A. And you have another one over here. Let's call that one on the right here B. Which of those would be a function? Now, both of them are relations. Which one, though, is a function? Now, this one here, there is 1/4 of this over here. And over here, these are the square of these on the right. This one on the left, A, is a function, 1-to-1. And this one on the right here is not a function because you have one-to-many, like 4 to more than 1. That's not a function. It is a relation, but not a function. This is just an overview of how the videos from this section will be published. So once this video here 5 is completed, it will be partially published. But please make use of those videos that are already totally published on YouTube. And even the partially published ones will help you somewhat.